Why should you watch this week's episode of Attack on Titan Junior High? One reason. Krista and Annie as cheerleaders. That's right, the ultimate battle continues. Not with the Titans, but between the underclassmen and the upperclassmen. This week's episode of AOT Junior High was just another ridiculous, rambunctious, hilarious episode, which had some of the funniest transitions I've ever seen in an anime episode. What I mean by that is, in this episode, there's this whole story going on where there's going to be this big sports competition between the underclassmen and the upperclassmen. And that means some people are going to be competing in the games, and other people are going to be relegated to just being on the sidelines, or cheerleaders, like Krista and frickin' Annie. Annie, of course, is hilarious because she's incredibly nervous and doesn't want to be seen in her cheerleader outfit, which is absolutely adorable. What's really funny is, when everybody sees these things, they cannot contain themselves, and they have these giant bloody red noses. Now, this is something that's been seen many times in other anime series before. It's just a trope of anime. If somebody sees a really attractive or cute girl, blood's gonna explode out of their nose. But I love that every single time they appear on screen, they use a transition of a spray of blood to go to the next scene. Something about that is freaking hilarious to me. Otherwise, the rest of the episode is basically just a by-the-numbers episode. Basically, the rest of the episode, though, is just sort of like a by-the-numbers episode of AOT Junior High. Take some of the concepts of the manga and anime series, twist them around, and make them funny. Take famous speeches, such as Mikasa's I am so strong speech, and turn it into something that involves them going through this weird chicken race, which is called Shoulder Wars. I don't know, Japan is really weird. They get like 3 people together with one person on top, and they all wear these bandanas, and basically you have to run around and try to grab the bandanas from the other team. It's basically a glorified game of chicken, but it's a little different, and if anything, you get to see a really funny scene of Levi actually riding on someone's shoulders. That, combined with his chibi eyes form, just looks oh so goofy. So yeah, we have foot races, we have a super game of chicken, and then we also have this thing where they're balancing on these tall logs and literally dodging all of these balls which are being thrown at them, which is basically just a really cool excuse to see Rico being a badass and sending all of those balls right into frickin' Jean's face. This is just a really goofy episode, and I think the funniest thing about it is probably how the entire competition started. It's all because the upperclassmen were not happy with the way that the underclassmen were dressing. All casual-like, all weird, ridiculous hairstyles, and the fact that they would have goofy little keychains attached to their book bags. Hell, even Mikasa has a little, like, transformed Eren Titan on her backpack. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Attack on Titan Junior High? Pretty much just more of the same, just tailor-made for AOT fans. This was another really funny episode. It had a lot of energy to it, which I think was probably one of the best things about it. And it seems like the series is getting more competent as it goes on with its style of comedy. Aside from just taking, like, direct scenes and just sort of, like, remaking them, they're actually taking some brand new scenarios, but incorporating, like, the famous dialogue into them. And I think that's really great, and it does work to a great benefit. There's so many little things about this episode that are great, you know. The continuing joke of Oluo, who constantly just keeps biting his tongue. I thought that would get old. It's not. I always look forward to seeing how he's gonna do it every single time, and it's usually completely random. All the stuff with Krista and Annie was really great. I think a nice little touch would have been when everybody jumped up in the air and they had bloody noses. Maybe given Ymir one a little bit, because she's really hot for Krista. And then there's just, like, the little details, the things that I think are really funny. Like the fact that Armin always has his futon wrapped around his head, and they have to play this game where they put bandanas on, like these little, like, headbands, and he ties it all the way around like his giant futon. It looks so damn funny. And Hanji Zoe was totally cheating in this episode when they had this foot race, and she used the Titan Sani to actually ride on top of him like a frickin' horse. That is some extreme cheating. I also loved the off-screen yell when she was talking to Sani, almost as if the Titan was literally trying to eat her. Again, one of the only few Titans who actually, like, try to eat people in this version of Attack on Titan. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this episode. Just a really fun sports day episode of Attack on Titan. Basically, it's kind of like the sports fest thing you see from, like, high school anime series combined with Attack on Titan. And yet, it actually does kind of work. So check it out, Attack on Titan fans. It's got some really great comedy and some great callbacks, especially to a lot of your favorite characters from the series. I thought this was just basically another okay, funny episode. Attack on Titan fans are gonna love it. Everybody else is just gonna think it's just sort of like a standard high school anime. So I'm gonna give this week's episode a 4 out of 5. I thought it was really funny as an Attack on Titan fan, but most people will probably consider this a 3 out of 5 episode. But check it out, Attack on Titan fans. You might get a couple of laughs. Make sure before you guys leave today to tell me what you thought about this week's episode of Attack on Titan Junior High. Did you have a favorite funny scene, a favorite character who showed up? What do you want to see from the rest of this comedy spin-off? And are you excited for Season 2? It's coming in 2016. What do you want to see from that season? Make sure to tell me in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!